manager for your project.
Hello, everybody. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Hello.
I'm Mike Delisio. Hello, everybody.
This is the first time I have done a crowd surfing where I was soaking wet.
Do tell us more.
Now, it's just because...
You're running outside and you get rained on, yes.
No, man, the package came.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You were outside the door. You were like outside, running, like doing things. You guys have had quite the day.
It's been a day. It's been a day, folks. We're in the middle of doing our live spiel coverage, and we've only had one major, two major, three major mishaps.
Three major.
So far, so good.
So far, par for the course. We're really glad you're here, and one of the reasons we're glad you're here is because there's a contest going on.
Ooh.
Have you all heard of Darkest Dungeon? Well, there's a board game of it now from Mythic Games, and you can go look at this Kickstarter. It's kind of doing a little bit gangbusters.
Yeah.
And we're giving out 3 copies of this worldwide. Now, this is the Dungeon Pledge. Obviously, you won't get it till the Kickstarter fulfills. But you can enter this contest. It runs through midnight on the 27th of October. And all you need to do is email us at contest@dicetower.com. In the subject line, put the word darkest. That's dark with EST at the end. In the subject, you need to tell us how many heroes are there in the core box of the game. Stretch goals not included. How many heroes are
in the body, Tom? Subject?
Oh, in the body.
Body.
Body, you're right. In the body. I thought he was talking about my body.
You've been outside, you're rained on. Dry your body.
No time for that.
Right.
Okay, so what goes in there again?
In the subject line, put the word darkest.
Yes.
In the body, put how many heroes are there in the core box of Darkest Dungeon. And there's a link to it in the description of our video.
There we go.
I would also be remiss before we start out here. We always look at Kickstarters that are ending in the next 8 to 10 days. So that, I like looking at Kickstarters as they finish. But there is a Kickstarter that just began that I should point out, and that would be Freedom 5, which is in the Dice Tower Essentials line, featuring the Sentinels of the Multiverse. We just played it live yesterday. You can go see us playing that to see how it works and back that Kickstarter. I am biased on that one, obviously.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at Kickstarters that I'm not biased at. Are you ready?
Ready.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Gemji, the multi-game system for designers and creatives.
Ooh.
Which means if you're not a designer creative,
get out.
You're out of luck.
We made the physical product. You make the games.
Isn't this
back us now?
Isn't this sitting around the studio somewhere? I thought we got this already.
Did we?
Did we get
Because
this?
I need to play this in the bathroom if we did. Like
That-
the guy in the video.
Yeah, that was an issue. That was a little bit shocking because they're talking about, you could play it anywhere. Yeah. The man is literally on the toilet.
I'm good. I don't need to see. I believe you, Gemji.
Where was that? Near the end?
No, it's somewhere in the middle. After her, right after the weird dancing creature.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like right there. There he was.
You go right from the dancing thing into the toilet.
Correct. You do indeed. You really do.
Right. Here we go.
Look, right here.
And there you are.
I'm loving it.
I gotta think that there's some. I gotta hope these are antibacterial tiles. I hope that there's some hygienic extra work that's been put into these. This is joking aside. I think the issue with this is exactly what Z brought up, which is that it might be a cool little product. It might be fun to play with and snap the pieces together, but it doesn't look like there's any real games here. We've had a few projects like this over the last few weeks where maybe some neat technology, maybe some neat ideas, but the games just don't seem to be there. This doesn't, I don't quite get what
they're also stretching it. Like, here, use it for modular D&D terrain. Really?
Right. Yeah, it's silly.
Really?
Yeah,
that's a selling point here? No,
not at all. And plus, again, they do that thing that I know maybe I'm on a soapbox about it, but I think it's true where they say buy this now. We've
Right.
come up with like, 15% of a game, but
Yep.
this is going to be supported for a lifetime.
No.
It's like, no, it's not, You might drop this and like you deliver, and then 3 months later you no longer support it, and then what?
Right.
Nothing. That's why,
Yeah,
Also,
I'm not feeling this at all.
this also might be a silly thing, but I think there's a problem with the name, because is it Gemji or is it Gemji?
I would assume it's Gemji because
Right, but you don't know.
Gem.
Well, you don't know.
I
But it could be
assume it's Gemji. Yeah. I love how they're like, you can wash these. If the dude's using it on the can, you
Right.
need to burn. It's not washed. Okay?
All right, let's move on. All right, Mother of Frankenstein, which sounds like a curse from an old movie.
Mhm.
Guy like stubs his toe. Mother of Frankenstein. that's what that made me think of.
Yes.
That makes me think of, gosh, what movie is it where every time he says something, is it Anchorman, I think? And every time he like curses, he says like, by Zeus's beard, and weird stuff like that.
Right.
It totally sounds like something Ron Burgundy would say.
It does.
All right, that being said, this is another one of those gigantic puzzle games.
Yes.
I think they said like 18 hours in here somewhere, or 10 to 15.
10 to
That's-
15.
That's a lot. They'll say theaters involved. I'm a little thrown by
I don't know
that.
what they mean by that. It sounds like it's a story-driven sort of project. Is kind of the best way to put it. It's sort of a game. It's sort of an escape room.
Right.
It's an experience, storytelling experience. That's not bad. I gotta say, this looks captivating. It sounds interesting. The guys behind it sound like they really know what they're doing when it
Right.
comes to putting together an escape room. Might they have one of the best escape rooms in the world?
Mhm.
This sounds captivating. This sounds like it will be outside the box, not the usual thing you get when you approach an escape room in a box from a board game company's point of view. These guys are coming at it from a very different point of view.
Right.
It's going to be a final product. It's going to be really distinct. I'm excited for this.
I agree with you. I'm not as excited, but that's only because on a personal level. I've already gotten several of these giant escape room games, and they keep fizzling out on them. Because getting the group together, like here, you have a 2D jigsaw puzzle, then a 3D puzzle. And I'm not interested in that part. My wife would love it, but then I'd be like, all right, I guess you build that and I'll wait and do the rest of it. I think this is cool. I just don't think it's for me.
That's exactly where I'm at. I just think in general this is not for me, but if I were to do something like this, it looks like they've done a fantastic job. I mean, the component quality looks remarkable. The actual puzzle construction, like Z said, looks like it's coming from a pedigree of people that really know what they're doing. The actual Kickstarter project itself looks very good. So again, I think this is one of those projects where if you're interested right away, if this is something for you right away, because it does look nice. It's just not something I know that I would do.
Sure, right. But I mean, in this case, I can definitely differentiate between something that I have no interest in, or maybe very little interest in, versus something that nobody should have any interest in.
Oh, for
This
sure.
looks
This
very
looks good.
well done.
It really
Do I necessarily want to back this? I don't think so.
Mhm.
But I cannot deny this looks well done.
Indeed.
All right. Then we have Galactic Era, an innovative epic space board game about darkness and light. So this one here, it's at 36,000. It's from CJ Games. And I got to be honest, I took a look at this and I was a little, I don't know, I lost
Underwhelmed?
interest. Because maybe it's a good game. It just, the cover, I don't know, just looks boring.
This looks like a
Maybe not.
3-hour slog to me. It just nothing in here looks unique. That's my biggest thing, is that I was going through it and I'm like, okay, where's the hook? Where's the hook? And I never found a hook.
No, this is a big pass for me. It looks like, hey, we're the latest space game with hexes.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I'm so over this kind of game. It all looks like a bunch of sci-fi mumbo jumbo. This is as bad as generic fantasy.
Yeah.
Bunch of space
You're right. This
monkeys
is
or
generic.
space lion.
Right.
Like look at this lion right here. That is the cover of the reprint of Shakespeare with anthropomorphic animals.
Mhm.
That's what that
Oh,
line
I was
is.
just saying that guy escaped from Twilight Imperium 4,
Right,
actually.
exactly.
He got kicked out of that universe for looking too fabulous.
We're coming down hard on this, and obviously people like
I
it and
am.
everything.
Let me keep going.
I just
hate
started.
everything about.
No, it might be fine. It just
Of course, it
Make-
might be fine. Anything might be fine, Tom.
Mhm.
Well, there's some that will not be fine. We'll
No.
point
We've
those
got
out,
someone
too.
coming up ahead that you're going to need to reevaluate that what you just said. It just
No, it
looks,
looks derivative. Yeah.
it's so very derivative. Yeah, and
Maybe
and
it's
that
not.
opening video where they're kind of showing the art for the different factions, I was just like, these just look off. They look boring and they look off. So yeah.
I'll also say
All right.
this. I'm also going to say this, though. When you're making a video for your game, the first half of your video, unless you are an extremely well-known designer, should not be about you. It should be about your game.
That's true.
And I thought that was strange. Like
Mhm.
the first, I don't know, half of the video, like I said, or maybe a third, is about this gentleman and his passion for sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's great. Also, I don't know you. I have no interest in what you grew up with.
Right.
Show me this game. That just seemed like a weird pitch.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll see. You never know.
Oh, I do.
Now, here's a unique theme for sure.
Yeah.
Takkure, a cyberpunk rugby game. I don't think we've seen a cyberpunk rugby game before.
I don't believe so. No. There may be a reason for that. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah. Is this the one that had the metal minis? At one
Yeah.
point,
It had some
forget which one
some
said
metal
they had
components.
minis. Yeah, the whole video was interesting for this one too, because they kept pitching like the universe is bad, things are terrible, the future, this and that. But we do have one escape. Rugby. It's like,
Rugby.
wait, what?
Frisbee golf. Cyberpunk frisbee golf.
We're not comparing rugby to frisbee golf. Well, I'm not.
I cannot tell. Yeah, I saw one of them. One of them had metal minis. I forget if it was this guy, but yeah, this is not the kind of game that's for me. I kind of like the vibe. I like the look of these designs.
I do not at all.
You don't like this art style?
No, I really don't.
I'm with Z. I like it.
No, I don't. Like
I think though that this is a miniatures game, straight up. I'm not sure. It's made by a miniatures company, but when I look at the rules and everything, I'm like, yeah, a miniatures company made this. If you like miniature war games, then here's a sports game for you.
Right.
Yeah, this just doesn't do it for me.
Well, you're wrong.
That's all right. Look, I know what I'm getting you for Christmas then, Z. You're going to be getting some cyberpunk rugby in your life.
I'm all about that rugby, and when you throw cyberpunk in it, I'm in like Flynn.
Alrighty, Windward. This is expansion of Big Box. Now, this is a very big game. I believe it's doing quite well, 210,000. Looks really cool. Nice inserts and everything. And I decided not to back it. Tell me why, Mike.
Because it's made by the company that did Quest for El Dorado, which you hated.
Only once.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
here's the thing. I think they make beautiful games.
it is. They do
but I
make
need
beautiful
to make
games.
A good game too, not just pretty. And
Well,
maybe it is.
Here's the thing. I'm in a similar situation to you in that I absolutely love their aesthetic. They've got this very kind of this design that runs throughout all their campaigns. You can tell one of their games just by looking at them, and I love the look of them. But you're right. The El Dorado game has some pretty significant flaws. I have backed their second one, the Age of Aquarius or something along those lines, and so that's
This is the age. Sorry.
yeah. If that one doesn't work, it might be that. But if that one is not good, then I think I'm done. But I'm not going to back this until I know. You know what I mean?
But Daniel Barkis says here,
Yes.
this is one of my most favorite games.
Correct.
Daniel Barkis, original backer 2873.
The OP.
I just think it's hilarious.
Hey man,
I
you
tell
gotta
you, man,
you gotta know who the guy is, you know.
I love the idea of this though. These airships that are flying
It
around.
looks good.
It really does.
I agree that their look, their design, whoever the graphic designer is,
Yes.
has a beautiful eye. I love that style. It looks like, those typography apps on like an iPhone or whatever. This has that sensibility.
It really does.
I don't know if the game's any good. I haven't played the El Dorado game.
You'd hate it.
Yeah, but so this looks great, but yeah, I don't know. I already get this kind of look coupled with good games from Keymaster Games.
Well,
sure.
The first game may be a anomaly, and maybe the future games are better. Right. So I backed, like Mike said, I recently backed one of their other games. So I will wait to see if they're two bad ones, then I'm out.
Yeah, it's a wait and see with them, because that happens sometimes. Companies, like you said, their first game, they learn. Let's hope.
For sure.
Hope springs eternal. That's what they say.
And really nice looking components.
Beautiful.
I like these boxes and everything. They look great.
Yeah, yes. It's interesting, because they say that the base game of this you can get at Barnes and Noble right now.
Really?
Yeah, like the Windward. This is like a second reprint with some upgraded, components and such. But I don't know.
I smell a Barnes and Noble's field trip.
Yeah, all right. Let's go, Tom. Maybe they have some sort of cyberpunk rugby game.
Yes. Can you play it on the toilet? That's all I need to know. All right. Play it on the toilet. I'm in.
Gunshi. The art of strategy. Did we not have this game on our shelf at one point?
Yeah, I think I'm looking at it right now.
We might still have it.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
I like the cover. I like how the game looks, actually. I'm going to say good things. This one looks interesting.
I'm going to say it's a
that was a judging. I got it.
Apparently, this is chess with programming.
It's a programming game.
I think for a particular type of gamer that this might be quite exciting for them, but it's not my style of game.
Right.
I think it looks interesting.
But it looks fine. I mean, it looks all right, but I don't think I'm interested. I don't want a programming abstract.
Looks like somebody's getting smacked up there, though. There's a little bit of right there. I didn't see it. So apparently you're supposed to fling the pieces onto the board and they bounce up and hit people in the face. Is that how it works?
Yes.
Oh, he's slamming it down, I think. Okay.
Dexterity variant.
All right. Now I have Crash Octopus. Now this one I really, really like the aesthetic of. Yes. And you got to admit, for a game that's essentially kind of a kiddish style game, 100,000 is pretty big deal.
I think this is because of the pedigree of the design team,
sure.
the Itten Games. I mean, Tokyo Highway is very, very popular. The Moonbase, maybe not as much, but this to me is an adorable idea. It's an adorable theme. It seems like they have the right tone, you know what I mean, where they're making it very clear what type of game this is. This is not a heavy strategy game. This is a wacky flicking game, but it does look like there's some, I don't know, rule set to carry it together.
Say it. Somewhat.
What? So I was just going to say, No, an actual rule set, because sometimes I get the impression with these flicking games, it's so loose and it's like, well, if it lands close, it's good enough. It does. This one looks like there actually has a little bit of a rule set behind it. So we'll see.
It's crazy. You're speaking madness. This is like where everything flicks at everything else. I mean,
yes, it's amazing.
Watching this video, I was like, I was freaking out watching this video, man. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's so imprecise. I need to go take a shower. This drives me insane. I cannot stand watching this kind of game where it's like, flick a thing. It touched it. Now I move this crab over. And when he moves the little crab over, I'm like, wait, the string also moved.
All right, well, despite
I hate this kind of
breakdown here, I think it looks good. My only word of caution to this and every other company, that if you're making a flicking game, be very cautious about your font choices.
Yes, that's true.
These guys are in the clear, I think.
This isn't that imprecise. Z, this is
on this one, folks. It looks great.
This is rock solid.
I hate imprecision in measuring or like flicking or like that kind of game. I honestly just don't like. I understand. It's me. Some people like this stuff. I get it. You go play with your bad games. I don't like having to look at something and judge if the situation is one way or another. Does that make sense? Like, are those two pieces touching? I don't want to have to.
I might normally agree with you, Z, but in this case, I don't care because it looks so much fun.
It looks very fun. Yeah.
All right, let's move on before Z loses it. Fantastic Factories, Manufactions. So Fantastic Factories was, I don't know if I want to say surprise hit, but definitely was close to that last year. A lot of people played it and were kind of blown away by the simplicity, the streamlined fun of drafting, rolling dice. Just great game. I really like Fantastic Factories. And this looks like more Fantastic Factories.
Have you played this one, Mike? Fantastic Factories?
This is not one I've played, actually.
This is, I haven't played it either. But you like it, Tom? You enjoyed that first one?
I really like it, and I would go out on a limb. I think both of you would like it.
Okay, so let me... Is this like Space Base at all?
Not particularly. What this one is you roll dice on your turn, and then you place them on the different cards you have in front of you. But you can then use the dice on those cards to produce resources, and you might even be able to build another card in your turn, which then you can put dice that you haven't used yet onto that card. So you can do some cool combos and things, and you're slowly building up an engine in front of you, places to put dice.
Okay.
And the cards give points, and some cards produce point tokens. That's it. It's really simple. You play till someone has a certain number of cards in front of them. So this looks like it just adds more cards, more stuff. I'm all on board with that. More stuff is always good.
All right. I would certainly try it, especially since it seems like it's a quick game. And if it's garbage, then at least it won't last long. Is it one of those games you always wondered if they'd add more, though?
Hey, man, it's a better quote than I normally get.
It is good.
Like, it is a good game, Tom Vassell.
Wonder no more, Vassell. They're adding more.
Well, I'm glad, because this is the type of game that I thought, hey, this is an easy one to expand. Just add more buildings and things like that. It looks like they did that. They added faction powers. I'm in for this. This is easy. Right. This is great.
Beautiful.
All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break here and listen to Mark, and we'll be back.
This week's Spotlight is brought to you by Mythic Games. Darkest Dungeon, the board game, is an adaptation of the critically acclaimed indie video game which was released by Red Hook Studios in 2016. In this game, players take on the role of adventurers that come to the aid of the heir to the mansion and its nearby hamlet. These adventurers will delve the cursed dungeons of the surrounding land, dealing with their eldritch horrors and aiding in bringing the hamlet back to its former glory. The adventurers, each with his or her own unique abilities and characteristics, will take part in an 11-episode, 4-act campaign, clearing the various locations from monsters and fighting their bosses. In between adventures, they will spend their accumulated riches to upgrade the hamlet and become stronger themselves. When these locations are purified and the adventurers feel strong enough, both physically and mentally, then it is time to storm the darkest dungeon itself and seal the gates of madness once and for all. For more information, please go check out the campaign, which is now live on Kickstarter.
Hey folks, and welcome to FOMO, the segment where I take a look at a game that's seeking crowdfunding right now.
Hey, party people, how y'all doing, man? I'm happy to be back on the Dice Tower. How you doing?
No. This is FOMO, the segment where I take a look at a game that's crowdfunding right now and that I maybe have a fear of missing out on. This isn't the Jeremy Howard show.
Well, it could be. So I think I'm going to hang out and help you, at least, while I'm here.
Well, have you played Lost Ones?
I most definitely have.
Okay, then you know what? You can stay. You can stay. I think everyone would be happy to see your face.
I hope so.
All right, so we are taking a look at Lost Ones, a game that maybe I have a fear of missing out on. Maybe you do too. Maybe they do as well. And we're going to take a look together.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, Lost Ones is an adventure storytelling game. Now, it's set in the same universe as the Of Dreams and Shadow game, a game that I personally really, really enjoy. And so that immediately made me want to take a look at the game. But what I found is this is not Of Dreams and Shadows. This shares that world. It's got that lore. This is a different game.
This is opened up right here.
So this is a game where we're going to be taking on the roles of these kids who are the lost ones, who have awoken in this dream world, this nightmare of sorts. And they're going to need to explore to figure out how to get out. it's got this like almost a kid-like adventure sort of thing.
Yes.
But the thing that really just kept clicking in my head, have you ever played Zelda: A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo?
Yes. We all have.
Right.
Yes.
You know how you kept going from the dark world to the light world and you were following quests and they were like, oh, you need to do this. And then really all we ended up doing was just going beating up the chickens for a while.
Right.
But regardless, I had that feeling when I played this. It was so cool, like having that. So I got that weird nostalgia memory. But so real quick, I know you have thoughts, but I'm going to give them a little idea of how the game plays. So the game plays, we're going to be just starting out. We all wake up here and we're the kids and we need to figure out where to go. So you're going to have a story guide that's going to tell you something about the tile you're on. And based on that, you're going to take 2 actions. Maybe you explore where you're at. Maybe you talk to somebody that's there. Maybe you move on. But you're going to be doing these actions using these cards, which are a limited resource as you're moving and can also cause time to move forward and maybe get you stuck in the dream world. Now, I found it really cool that there are a multitude of paths out. And as you are moving your way through the story, you've got the nightmare coming, you've got the foes coming, you're finding things. You've got this story guide that's almost, what does this remind you of?
There's just so many different games, but I'm thinking to myself, like, I thought like this was like 7 Continent or like a lot of these newer campaign type games, but all wrapped in a small presence. This is a 90-minute experience. Right. Tops. You're gonna have...
No, wait. To be fair, the game can be over much quicker, as I learned.
Yes, it
now,
can be over
and that was a concern for me at first. I was like, well, I could lose so quick. Is that a problem? No, I've gained valuable information. And what it most equated to me was, you know when you have a recurring nightmare or a recurring dream and you keep having it?
You know when you have a recurring nightmare or a recurring dream and you keep having it?
Sometimes somebody once told me, let the dream play out. Try to keep yourself asleep. And so it felt like that. It felt like waking up and then going back to sleep, and now I need to continue through the adventure, and I need to see this dream to its end.
I would say, like, you are going to want to discover what this game has to offer. You're going to, like, you're flipping over these cards, and as you flip them over, the worlds are connecting. It's building this beautiful landscape, and I can't stress enough how beautiful this game looks.
This artwork is gorgeous.
I cannot stress enough. And as you see some of more of the art, and you start to unlock some of these secrets that are there, you may go down one path and get so interested and caught up with the writing that you kind of go, hey, I want to go back there. Or you may get lost in the game. And that's a good thing.
That wagon on the road you didn't explore this time, you're like, well, maybe next time we should find out what happens.
This is definitely a game where you could get lost in being interested in too many things.
Would you say you could be one of the lost ones?
Oh my gosh.
All right, so for me, this is definitely a FOMO. I absolutely adored this. It's a different game than Of Dreams and Shadows. It may appeal to a different audience, but I feel like people who are really invested in the lore of A Dream and Shadows, this is something to really explore that world more. Definitely. So for you, is this a FOMO as well?
Oh, definitely. I'm not missing out.
Perfect. So we are both in agreement for probably the first time ever. Yeah. All right, so that is a look at Lost Ones. If you are interested in it, go ahead and check out their Kickstarter page. It is still running right now. There's some how to plays and playthroughs. I think you might even do a playthrough potentially. And let's see, what am I going to look at next? Oh, next time I'm going to do a shameless plug, maybe.
There's no shame. No shame.
All right, folks, have a good one, and we'll see you next episode.
Take care, party people.
All right, tell me when we're on. Tell me when we're on.
We're on, you crazy person.
Let's do this. All right, here we go. Yeah. Lost in Jurassica, a fast and fun survival card game. Woo-hoo. I really wish sometimes people would just put the name of the game. But anyway.
Yeah.
It's made 29,000.
I'm very surprised.
I'm surprised it's not made more. I'll tell you,
really?
That's the only thing I'm surprised about. That this hasn't made more money. It's got that, I mean, it's like ready-made for the usual people who enjoy exploding kids and things like that. And they do have at the bottom of the page a lot of those, like, as seen on all these places.
Yeah, I suppose so.
So...
Well, it looks like it's the same game he made the one before called Lost in Australia.
Right.
I don't know where I stand in this artwork. One moment I'm like, I like it. Then I'm like, nah, I don't really like it. That's good. Nah.
I don't love it. I don't mind the little resource ones because those are very clear but I don't love the character art. I don't love the really, really, really derivative font. I mean, basically just call it Jurassic Park at this point. I mean,
you want to get sued, boy?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This just doesn't. I think Z has a point though. This I think is going for a more mass market audience.
And it's not really getting it. I mean, that's the thing.
No.
All right. Well, it was interesting. Moving on. TorKings, the world's greatest. Not one of the, but this is the world's greatest strategic alignment game. Guys, what is this?
This is Untamed and Unleashed is what it is.
This is
the genre's extreme upgrade.
You know, the thing that was most interesting to me about this project was certainly not the game. It was the fact that Connect 4 is not called Connect 4 in all parts of the world, apparently. Apparently, down under, it's called Align 4. Because what I got a kick out of, amongst many things, is that at one point here on this page, it says, this game is not just Align 4. And then right underneath it, it says, it's Align 4. So here it says, TorKings is not the game of Align 4. Now scroll down to where it says New Game Modes. Oh, what's the first one? Align 4! So I don't know. That
is fantastic. I'll tell you what. This is my favorite. My joy came from the video. I don't know if you guys watched the video all the way at the end. There were two great moments, almost back to back at the very end of the video. Okay. The last one was somebody clearly dubbing over the guy when he says, "And so please now, so the game is done, and now we just need your help to back it on Kickstarter." Like somebody dubbed over it because I guess he said something different.
Right.
It was very obvious. It was hilarious. The other thing was him counting with his hand the innovations. And he went, so first of all, it's this thing, and then it's this thing, and then he realized he was going to give the middle finger to the camera, so he kind of goes like this. And looks at his hand for a second, like real confused, and then goes like that. And it was very funny.
Oh, that's great. All right.
So you know what? I applaud the video, and I say, save your money, get yourself some Connect 4.
Yeah.
Well, it's longer than Connect 4, right? I mean,
that's good. That's good.
Well, there's also I don't know. Here's the thing. As silly as it sounds, I would probably mess around with this because I'd be like, okay, even though Connect 4 is not that great of a game, if I see it sitting around, I might play it because there's something about dropping the checkers in which I find joy in.
Sure.
And me and my kids have had a lot of fun playing the different Connect 4s. To the point where, if you remember, Z, we played Connect 4 last year. It was in Vegas with basketballs.
I was just getting to say that's my favorite innovation to Connect 4 is those games where you do the basketball. That was a lot of fun.
Great. We had a blast doing that. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So there's that, and I do like the idea of putting two boards together. That just amuses me.
Okay,
this is for you then, Tom.
$75.
Now we know who this is for.
I don't know.
Well, that's true. The pricing is very problematic.
Mm-hmm.
But if 3 together, wait, is there 4? 5!
5! Wow.
10!
Oh, you got to be kidding me now.
You know, somewhere.
Oh, this would be great.
What you need to do is you need to make a cage, a TorKings cage around you, so you're enveloped by the TorKings and you're turning from one to the next. It's like the Matrix. You're spinning in all directions and flipping things behind you, and you're flinging them with your thumb. And
all right, here's a really big giant game. This one's doing really well. Frostpunk, the board game. This is from the designers of Nemesis and This War of Mine, but it's not from Awakened Realms. It's from a new company called Glass Cannon, which doesn't seem like a name I would call some company, but it looks really cool, though. I mean, that's a really nice looking game.
I got to tell you,
looks neat. Go ahead, Mike.
I was gonna say my only concern about this, because I think it looks like beyond amazing, is it's similar to something that I think Z and I especially have been talking about the last few weeks. Is that I'm a little concerned this is too much game. I'm a little bit concerned that, this is one of those games where I'm going to look at everything that I have and be like, I don't even know if I want to get this out of the box. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. I have a feeling the experience would be pretty rewarding because I think it looks fantastic, but am I going to have the stamina to go through it all and get everything set up. And so, but man, it looks so good.
It really does look like Awakened Realms, though, doesn't it?
It does.
It looks like exactly one of the games they would make, from the graphic design to the upgraded pieces to, I don't know. I don't disagree with you, Mike, but these guys have made, they have a pedigree.
Yeah.
This is a solid looking Kickstarter.
Oh, it's better than solid looking. I think it's amazing looking.
I'm pretty pumped about this one.
I am too.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely tell it's from the same guys who did this War of Mine. It looks super dark, that's for sure. Like one of the cards, they show like really dark cards in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
That tower in the middle, though, that's like a cube tower, supposed to be the heat generator or whatever. That's so cool.
That's amazing.
But I agree with you, Mike. At the end of the day, this looks like a lot of game.
It does.
It scares me away a little bit. I'll agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on board. Yeah,
but you're a brave man, Tom.
That's right.
Now, not as much as I'm on board for JailBird.
This video, gentlemen, was wow. Wow is all I can say.
I loved it.
We're fine here. Wait till we get into the kitchen. We're not in the kitchen yet.
Bird police.
Here we go. Now
I thought this was very cute. It's clearly a bunch of friends in college making as many puns per minute as they can.
Uh-huh.
And generally having a good time. I respect this more than trying to sell me Connect 4 as the greatest innovation in gaming. I really do.
Yeah, that's
These
fair.
are clearly a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'll call them kids because I'm old now. Having a good time. They made some silly game together and they're pitching it.
That's true.
I'm okay with this. I really am. I don't know what it is. Maybe because they're young.
Mike here. All right.
No, not at all. I'm just saying. Unless he backs that Connect 4 game, then I will shame him.
I understand what he's saying. I don't think there's this looks like just basically take that, the card game, which is fine, but
yes.
Yeah.
All right.
It just lacks pretentiousness, I guess. Is what
You're
I
right.
mean.
You're absolutely right there.
This is the first-person card game, which if
like
I just
this
told
one,
you,
for example, is
if I told you that,
yeah,
like if I just said, hey, you want to play a first-person card game, what would you think that meant?
A game in which
you are the card. People should be dealing you onto the table. People should be ripple shuffling you.
No, it's not. I would assume it's about a first-person shooter. You know,
That's
like
what I
the
would
theme
think
is
too.
Doom.
Like, what's this first-person card game? Anyway, it's a collectible card game, which instantly, I'm out. Right there. Come on.
Who buys a new collectible card game from an unknown?
Right.
Have you learned nothing with your few years on this planet? You don't do it. I don't understand. I really don't
understand
get
why
it.
it's collectible. Like, he has all these different class decks and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So just have them. Why is it collectible?
Yeah, I don't know. Also, the card design and everything just looks so dated. I mean, it's like
this is definitely like every other collectible card game.
It's crazy. And again, I don't quite because the hook is obviously supposed to be this first-person card game. And so from what I can understand, it's like, oh, well, you're not placing minions out onto the board. Well, okay. So what are you doing? What does that even mean, this first-person thing? Because to me, it just...
I think what it means is that instead of like in Magic the Gathering where you are like a planeswalker,
right,
and you summon creatures to fight for you, you yourself fight for you by still playing cards and doing everything that you would do in any other collectible card game.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right, quick question here for this decapitate card.
Uh-huh.
How did that work? I only asked that because he's using a hammer.
Right. And it also looks like he's on the backswing.
That's true.
That would be a very interesting decapitation.
Maybe he hit the guy so hard on his jaw, and the guy's jaw is so strong.
Right.
Maybe that it broke the neck instead of the jaw, I suppose.
Right.
I would read the title. See, here's the thing. This is a perfect opportunity to retitle that card and call it 4.
All righty. I'm so sorry. I wanted to like this, but
did you? Okay.
I want to like all of these. Come on.
That's true.
Okay, board Gamer-isms enamel pin set. So enamel pins, and then you just basically have these different ones here. Some of them are very, very esoteric. Like, ask me about my calyx. That's very, very focused.
Mm-hmm.
I like these a lot, man. What do you think? I like them.
I like the Who Shuffled This, I think.
Yeah. I think it's a neat idea. I think that they look nice. I think that they're being very reasonable in what they're pricing it as. I think they've got a reasonable goal. I don't see any. I don't know that there's a huge market for it, but it's cute.
I like the design of them a lot, actually.
I do too.
I could see this doing really well at a convention.
Absolutely.
Yes.
A convention would be the place to be for that. Yeah.
I like them a lot. I really do. And they got keychains also. I like that because magnets. I mean, pins, whatever. But like a fridge magnet or a keychain. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm in.
They're cute.
My favorite is definitely Who Shuffled This.
That's a good one.
That is my favorite.
I like that too because we say that so often,
Yep.
Right.
What's the last thing that this? I didn't look at that. Oh, they did
some before. Yeah, this is like the second version.
No, but the last ones were more like just deck building, trick taking. These are more Gamer-isms. I like the Gamer-ism thing better, I think.
Yeah, the first ones are just genres. Yeah,
and they're
different
good shapes now also, which I like the new shapes.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a good looking project. I like it.
All right, folks, we got a few more projects to talk about, but before we do so, we're going to take a quick break, go back to Mark, and then we'll tell you about the rest of everything.
Right.
Hey folks, welcome back to our Dice Tower Preview Recap. I'm Mark, and today we're going to be scouring the world for gems. We're going to be trying to quest and learn our fate, as well as racing around the track and scouring the globe to look for unknown treasure. Also, we're going to be going up against a mastermind trying to save our city. All right, let's jump in and take a look. First, let's take a look at Gem Hunt. Gem Hunt is an adventure game where you are questing to find gems. You take on the role of a gem hunter, 12 unique hunters to choose from. You will travel across a diverse number of regions and locations, each with unique opportunities and dangers, as you set out to complete your quests. Every turn has a movement phase and an action phase. The movement phase consists of crossing a rope bridge or taking a ferry, taking the underground railway, taking a ride on a zip line, or moving across the board on one of the regional movement spaces. The action phase can consist of mining for gems, digging for oysters, cutting rough gems into faceted gems, performing transactions in the appropriate location, turning in completed quest cards, playing one of the mini games, or drawing a fate card after landing on a regional movement space. The goal, well, depends on how you choose to play the game. Whether to play a game based on completing the most quest cards in a specific time frame, or you can just simply play a speed round, being the first player to complete one quest card. Whatever your path, it is up to you to become the Master Gem Hunter. So yes, we'll be scouring the world to find these gems, hidden gems, even uncut gems, and traveling to Gemtown to have these gems cut and refined to gain you points at the end of the game. And it's all about having the most gems. This game plays pretty fast, and I found it to be very family friendly. And next up, we have Veiled Fate. In Veiled Fate, you play as a divine being who has sired a demigod in the realms of men. The identity of your lineage is known only to you. Use positional play to complete quests and influence fate to ensure the outcome in your favor. Strike the perfect balance of misdirection and mischief to capture the throne. There are 9 demigods at the beginning of the game. Each player is secretly assigned one demigod as their offspring. When the game begins, however, players may control the actions of any demigod, not just their own. Through strategic play and secret voting, players must aid their demigod in gaining renown. But be careful, giving away your lineage too soon may cause the other players to work together towards your demigod's demise. At the end of 3 ages, the demigod with the most renown ascends to the throne and wins the game. So Veiled Fate is pretty interesting. You know, it's got an interesting mix of strategy and the fact that there is social deduction here. You have to figure out who is who in this game, as everyone is controlling a demigod, but you can move and quest with any demigod you so choose, and, you know, misleading folks and so forth. Now, one of the things I found really fun is that we did a 7-player game where you had teams and you didn't know who your partner was either, as well as trying to figure out who everybody else was. So lots of really interesting things about this game, and how they blended that mix, just really, really well done. And next up we have RaceKart Riot. The racers in RaceKart Riot race off in hopes of winning the prized Ruby Cup. Armed with bananas, eggs, bombs, and more, the racers battle their way to first place. In this retro racing game, you don't just win by coming in first place though. You must collect car and item cards in order to finish with style, earning you more points. When the race ends, the player with the most points wins the Ruby Cup and is crowned the champion. So this game really does have that Mario Kart feel in a board game. And yes, I did tease this one not that long ago, but it finally is up and available for you to check out. Now, the thing here is that there's a fair amount of strategy here too. It's not just throwing things at other players trying to slow them down on the track, but you have set collection here that you're trying to do as well to gain you points at the end of the game. But they've really done a good job capturing that video game feel in the board game. Now let's take a look at Treasure Hogs. Attention all archaeologists. With the recent discovery of an ancient hog burial site located by renowned archaeologist Professor Bones, hog archaeologists from around the world have set out to find riches of extraordinary value. But beware, thieves are lurking in the shadows. They are devising a plan to steal your treasure. You, the archaeologist, must also be of cunning wit to both successfully win treasure while defending from looting thieves. Who will become the ultimate treasure hog? In Treasure Hogs, players take on the role of an archaeologist, using resource cards from their hand to match and win the available treasure cards in play. Players can also use thieves to steal an opponent's treasure. When all treasure and curse cards have been claimed, the player with the highest treasure point total wins the game. So this is a fast-playing card game, and each of your archaeologists have their own special powers, as well as you trying to scour the world and find the most treasure. But beware, there are thieves, your fellow players at the table, where they will be trying to steal that treasure from you. So there is some take that in this game for sure, but it is very fast and the artwork is pretty entertaining. And finally, let's have a look at Freedom 5. Immerse yourself in the world of Sentinel Comics and test your wits against a dastardly smart AI in the newest evolution of the Defenders of the Realm series by Richard Lanius. Freedom 5 is a cooperative strategy game in which you take on the role of a hero and race to protect your city from an onslaught of villainy. Face standalone challenges or adventure through a series of campaign comics where you will gain new rewards and new threats every session. So, welcome to Bad Moon Falling. Ivan, son of a prolific USSR weapons developer, grew up in Lithuania during the Cold War. When the United States sent a team of superhumans led by the world's first legacy to disrupt the creation of a Soviet doomsday device. The resulting conflict left young Ivan an orphan. Years of fending for himself and picking up the pieces of his father's work warped Ivan into a cold-hearted, power-hungry dictator known as Baron Blade. Eventually, his quest for vengeance brought him to Megalopolis, where he has suffered numerous defeats at the hands of the Freedom 5. While the nature of their feud has escalated over the years, one thing has remained constant: the Baron's obsession with revenge against the Parsons family, and his hatred for Americans' beloved legacy. Now, after finally perfecting his father's design, the Baron just needs to siphon a little extra power from the city before he is ready to reveal the Terra Lunar Beam Cannon, a machine capable of pulling the moon from Earth's orbit and bringing this story to a catastrophic conclusion. So this is a cooperative game, super thematic as you try to take on the henchmen, the villains, and the mastermind to save the city. And all the different heroes, I really like Tachyon, I have to say, because her speedster ability is fantastic. But all the different heroes have very vastly different powers and really gel and work together well. Now, you are rolling dice and you're managing the outbreaks, so to say, of the henchmen and everything going on in the city with anarchy and such. But I love the pressure that the game provides and how the comic book leads you through the story as you play. Really enjoying this one. And so it's time for my pick of the week. You know, it really came down to 2 games for me, Veiled Fate and Freedom 5. And both of these games, vastly different games. And it really actually was a really hard choice because Veiled Fate, man, I really have enjoyed every play of that. And just the strategic aspect of it, trying to also figure out who everybody is in the game. But, you know, the thing about Freedom 5 is that it has everything I love about board games. It's the cooperative game, it's got high pressure to it, it's got super powered humans that you can use and all their different abilities and how you interact with a comic book. Right up my alley, 100%. So, Freedom 5 wins it for me this week. All right, folks, if any of these games look like they might be of interest to you, please go check out our full previews. And if you want your game featured as a Dice Tower preview, please shoot me an email. All right, folks, until next time, we'll see you at the table.
All righty. Silly shapes. Who let the shapes out?
Who?
Oh man, I've got some issues with this campaign here.
Go, light it up.
All right. Number one, there's 2 issues, and it's all right there. The hilarious party card game, all right? The only thing I will give that as being accurate is that it's got cards. It's not hilarious because they gave examples in the video, and I assume if they're going to give you some examples, they're going to pick the best ones. Not one of them were even slightly humorous. And secondly...
Didn't you hear the laughter?
Yeah, oh, I heard it. And honestly, I'm not trying to be like a prude here, but I wouldn't want to play this game with kids when it's all this type of stuff. I mean, a lot of this stuff I think is a little bit crude if you're talking about making it a family game. It's just this to me comes off as so lazy, like so lazy. That's all.
I don't disagree with Mike. I actually like the way the shapes look. I like the eyeballs, the silliness. I thought, oh, this would be a fun game to play with kids, and it's that whole. Half the stuff is about bodily functions.
Right.
And I'm with Mike. That is so lazy. Shame on you. I hope the project fails.
Z?
I think it looks amazing. I find both of you dismissive. I think this is a game that is irreverent and full of whimsical,
full of I can't
silly
use that
joy.
Finger. With silly joy, this finger. Okay, what's the other one?
Well, get rid of the first 2. No,
right,
go back. Get rid of the last 2 then.
All right, we're moving on here. Farting Frenchies. So we're back to bodily functions.
Suddenly we're highbrow, fellas.
Now,
I was saving it.
Yeah,
I was saving it, you fools.
Except this one is doing much better.
Doing really well.
It's
basically the thing to note is dogs always better than shapes.
Well, that's the thing.
So. Is there much difference here between these?
Well, I couldn't figure out. This is appealing either to fans of dogs or fans of flatulence. I mean, there's big groups in both, so I don't know if maybe it's getting some from both.
The target of this game is Sam Healy, is what you're saying. I love you, buddy. You know I love you.
Wow. Love and farts are in the air. I will say this for the game. I'll say this for it. It is being very clear. It's not being coy. It's being very clear about what it's about. This is about if you find farting dogs funny, then you'll probably get a kick out of this game. If you don't, then you probably won't because it's very on the nose, right? You're playing stink cards. You're playing good smell cards, which apparently, I guess onion soup is good smelling. I think that was one of their examples of good smelling cards. But again, this is appealing to a mass market, to fans of dogs, apparently to fans of flatulence, but not for me. I do like that plushie, though.
I don't find
about this kind of game is at the end of the day, it's for people who think farting dogs are funny. I might think that's funny for like the 10 seconds after a dog farts.
Okay.
I don't want to play a whole game about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's
Oh,
what I'm
I
saying.
know.
Like if a dog walks by and farts, I'll be like,
Yeah.
and then I'm done with that.
Right.
I don't want
I
to
don't
own
find-
a game about that.
I don't find farting dogs funny at all, but I do find it immensely convenient and a
Sure.
useful excuse. Since I bought a dog, I have not farted once.
Correct.
I got you.
Mhm.
All right. Dungeon Drop. Drop too deep. And Tavern Tales. Now, Dungeon Drop is a game. I've reviewed it on the channel. It's a fun little, it's a very simple game where
Mhm.
you are dropping down cubes and then you are trying to figure out kind of an area where you can collect cubes from, but without having monsters hit you. So you're just trying to find kind of the best spot on the board, but you also have special abilities. I will say, I'm amazed that it's made this much
It's
money. The game
doing
is
really
this
well.
small.
That's
So-
crazy. Yeah.
That's great marketing, and that means people like the first one because the first one has fulfilled. And I think people do tend to like cubes with printed things on them.
Yeah.
I like that too. You know, that just gives them a little bit of flavor, right?
Well, remember back in the day, I think it was the first maybe Kickstarter I ever backed was Dungeon Roll. So this kind of has that same small box, dungeony type of very accessible, cute artwork. But I also wonder, this looks like it would have that same thing that Z was talking about earlier. I haven't played it. I know you did, Tom. I unboxed it. But does it have that kind of thing where you
It's
have to
not-
kind of guess if something is touching something else?
It's
Or
not too bad. I mean, yeah, Z would probably have more of a problem with it than me. To me, it's pretty easy to see what's within what distance of what.
Also, my eyesight is what's bad, not my
Right.
taste in games.
I
That's
do
what you're
like
saying.
this dungeon mats and wall set. That's kind of a neat thing to get. I am a little astounded here at this quote that says, "It really feels like you're in a torchlit dungeon." That feels slightly disingenuous.
Sure.
I,
What if you're playing the game in a torchlit dungeon? Would that help?
That's Inception too much. It's too real at that
Too
point.
real.
Alrighty. Yeah, it's cute, and I think it will do well, and good for him.
I thought that the components looked nice in the unboxing anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Project L, Finesse. Now, we just played Project L, and this is like the gateway of gateway games.
Sure.
It is so easy to play. It feels so satisfying to put the shapes into these things.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I mean, it's doing extremely well here.
Yeah.
I'm going to
glad.
go with, I said earlier that the guy counting and then being dubbed was probably the worst video. I think these guys get my best video.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Nod.
Yeah.
That video is quite flashy. It's a
Mhm.
very, very well done video.
It is. And I will say, and I'm glad we played this recently, Tom, because I had not played it before, but this is one of the more satisfying tactile gaming experience you'll ever have. I don't know what it is. There's something about the combination of those little plastic pieces in those recessed boards. It's almost perfect. So just on a tactile nature, it's very satisfying.
It's
Does
fast.
this game for you guys, I haven't played this,
Mhm.
but does this game for you guys blow away number 9?
Yes.
It's
a different
Number 9's
game.
a puzzle game.
Yeah.
This is more of a engine building game, and you're just trying to figure out the best order to do shapes in. It's
Just a
really
yes or
light.
no, Tom. Just a yes or no.
It's so rude.
No, it's not. I was asking, does it blow that game away? Mike said yes. And then when he realized he wouldn't agree with you, he's like backpedaling, whatever. Your answer's no?
Yes. Weirdo. All right, I like
So
the
what you're
finesse
saying
thing.
is I should burn number 9.
Yes. Throw it in the trash.
Potion. Yeah, so it looks good. Looks interesting. Doesn't look like it adds a lot, and it also
No.
looks like another way to get the base game, which I'm sure a lot of people are backing for that
That's, I
reason.
think, a big
I
part of it.
haven't played it. I like the look a lot.
Yeah.
This looks quite neat.
I think you'd like it.
Twisted Fables, a new rock band. Once again,
Sleeping Beauty.
I feel like this is a well that people have gone to too many times. I get it. Ha ha. fairy tales are actually vigilantes, gross, nasty, mean people. This is not the first game of this. In fact, it's not even the 10th game with this theme. This is done so often, I find it boring at this point.
What about Mulan, though?
I'll let Disney come after them on that one. I mean, the rest
I was
of
a bit
these,
surprised by that.
the rest of these are public domain.
Well, and Mulan, I guess though Mulan was like it came out of literature, right? I mean, I don't think Mulan was an original Disney
otherwise
character.
they would. I mean, I'm assuming so. I don't know that fairy tale. This, I don't know. Again, this looks like the CCG from the 90s. The cover, I hate the cover. All right, so one of you needs to say something good because I'm not being very nice.
No, I don't
the
like
minis look good. I don't hate this theme. I agree, it's been done a lot. I like this a little better than when they do Alice in Wonderland by herself. And there's a lot of Alice in Wonderland. It's like, you're at a crazy tea party. You have to switch these cards. It's like, oh, great, so it's memory. No. Now it's going to be Alice in Wordland. It's okay, great, so it's Scrabble. I'm like over Alice in Wonderland themes.
Right.
This is a little better than that. I like the minis. I like the graphic design that they've got going on here. And you can get a bundle of sleeves. And I don't really care about that, but it was on the screen.
I will say, if you've ever wanted to play as Little Red Riding Hood in the Assassin's Creed game, then this could be for you, because that clearly is what they're going for there.
Like, look at the one that throws me off here is the Match Girl. The little Match Girl is now apparently a pyromaniac.
Who's the Match Girl? What is that from?
I don't know if I'm even familiar with that.
It's a story about a little Match Girl. Basically, she dies and goes. It's like a really depressing. It's one of the grim fairy tales, I think. They're all depressing.
Yeah. Well, it's in their name. I mean, truth in advertising.
I don't know, man. I like this more than you do, Tom. I'd check this out.
I'm not interested at all. All right. Wildlife, the card game. I'm going to steal Z's phrase he often uses on this one, and I think this one is super charming.
I'd say charming too much?
No, you say it a lot about games, but I think this one is a game that has a very distinct look. I hope it's
my
good.
word, too. Okay.
Yes.
I hope.
Is it a clean design? That's another
Am I even real?
I do.
Say cadence. Somebody say cadence.
I don't know. I like the art on this one.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like a great game necessarily, but if it works well for kids, then this is one I would love to play with kids just because it feels like it's based in an IP. I don't know. I think it looks good.
The aesthetic is cute. I do like the aesthetic.
There are a few sort of kid-centric looking games anyway this week, and I agree that this is one of the more earnest looking ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
I especially like Ernest when he goes to camp. Go ahead, sorry.
More. Fray, champions of the Everyverse. This brings to life the childhood question, who would win in a fight?
This is the worst version of that fairy tale game we were just looking at.
Again, well, they're adding different people here, but they're giving them different names so that you don't like Brit the Ranger is definitely not Legolas.
No.
Nope.
Golgo the Gladiator is not Spartacus.
Nope.
So you're okay, even though all that stuff seems fairly public.
That bear looks awesome.
Oh, the miniatures don't look bad.
Yeah, the miniatures look good, and even the art I don't think looks bad. I just think that the game looks bad. It just looks like throw things into an arena and roll dice.
Maybe it's like that game that you like, Z, that historical Anachrony.
Sure, I guess, except that's like a 5-minute card game. This looks complicated. I don't really need to take two figures head to head like this and find out who's victorious. I find these games overwrought. I really do. I think a lot of these
simpler. I don't know. Maybe I like it.
I tend to find arena games, and there's a lot of them, right? I tend to find those games usually overwrought. I think they just do so much to simulate what at the end of the day is probably a couple of die rolls. You know what I mean? So give me a card game.
I don't think
version of
this
that.
one is overwrought. What else have
This one doesn't look too overwrought, but we'll see.
What else have they done?
Brain sandwich.
Per my last email.
I like the name of that. I'm assuming it's a horrible
That might
game.
be fun.
Per my last email. All right, last game of today, High Rise, the UltraPlastic Edition. High Rise, folks, is an amazing, amazing game.
It's really good.
This one adds plastic pieces. Basically, it looks like it's a redone version of it with plastic pieces. He couldn't afford to stick them in the first one. This is what the first one looked like. Although I wasn't upset with these cardboard standees in the first one. They looked really cool.
The original, he launched this originally as a game with these plastic pieces, and then he pulled it before that first campaign ended because there was concern over the cost, and then relaunched it as the cardboard one that we're familiar with. But there's enough people that were interested in this, and in addition to that, the buzz is out there that this is a really solid game, that it made sense, I think, to come out with this. And he's added some extra cards and a couple of little errata that get taken care of. So I'm pretty excited about this because you had talked so much about it. I had a chance to play it. I also like it quite a bit.
It has that whole move as far as you want to mechanism, which works. It's just one of my favorite mechanisms in the game. And it has a lot of cool player interaction because I might stop at your building because it's a good building, but then I'm helping you, and I really hate that fact. And there's area control. I don't know. I was very happy with it.
There's a little twist, though, on that. You can't exactly move as far as you want to. You can't go past that next neighborhood, and that gives you a little bit of an angst, too. So I like it.
All righty. Well, it's time for Picks of the Week. I'll start with Z because I don't know. He's probably picking JailBird.
No, you know what? I'll tell you. No kidding. I was just going through them while you guys were talking about High Rise because I haven't played it. I didn't have anything to add there. I normally don't have anything to add, I suppose. I'm looking through them now, and honestly, I would probably have given it to Twisted Fables if it wasn't a deck building game. I'm just kind of over deck building games. But I like the look of it. Probably the best out of everything. That one off the table, though, I'm giving it to the enamel pins.
Nice.
Oh, okay. Wait, where are they? Here they are. Nice. Okay.
That's my pick. That's really honest. That's the best looking thing this week. It seems like the most for me. And I'm glad that the thing that, again, kind of pushes it over the edge for me, it's not just pins. They've moved on to, like, fridge magnets and keychains and whatever. So that's cool. I would love to have a deck of sleeves with that Who Shuffled This on the back.
Oh, yeah. That'd be fun.
That would be fun.
That's beautiful. I love the design on that, and that would be beautiful. That would be fun. So that's my pick.
All right, Mike.
Any guesses, gentlemen?
Oh gosh. Let's see.
Maybe the Project L?
Is it the Octopus thing?
So if my criteria today was which of these would I be most excited if I had in front of me right now, and it would be the Frostpunk. That I mean, I know it's a lot of game and it scares me a little bit and I'm a little bit intimidated by it, but I'm also very, very, very impressed with the world it looks like they've created here, the aesthetic of it. This game promises a lot. I don't know if it delivers everything that it promises, but I do know that if I had this in front of me right now, I'd be super excited to get out and start trying to figure out how to play it.
Have you tried the video game? You should probably try the video game.
I probably should try the video game. Yeah, I have not tried it yet.
So yeah, Frostpunk looks great to me. The Octopus one's a good pick too.
It is, yeah.
Man, the problem that I ran into this week was a lot of the stuff I really liked is because I've liked the original game. There's several expansions for different things like High Rise and things like that. But I think because of that, of those, I think I'm going to go with Fantastic Factories, the expansion. I liked it. I like Fantastic Factories. And I think that having more cards will actually raise my rating of the game. Because that would be my only complaint would have been that I start seeing the same cards over and over. Having a bunch of different cards is going to make it and infuse more life into it. So, I'm excited about this. But again, there's High Rise and the Project L, and there's
I know
there's a lot.
Project L was up there for me too. That looks good.
Yeah, me too. It was a consideration.
leftover ones. So, yes, we came down hard on several Kickstarters this week, but there's always really cool ones out there. So,
Yep.
Alrighty, folks. Well, that's it. We, in 20 minutes, are going back to our live Spiel Digital playthroughs, and we're playing Moonrakers.
Moonrakers, yes.
It's already set up. We'll meet you guys there. And until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Thank you.
I'm Mike Delisio.
Have fun entering our contest at the beginning of the episode.
Whoop. Yeah.